I was once Susan Stamberg. And I was hired by National Public Radio in 1971, just a month before we went on the air, with All Things Considered, to be a tape cutter. In order to edit this magnetic tape, you were given extremely complicated, professional, high-technical equipment. A single-edge razor blade and some sticky tape. And you took the razor blade and you made the cut at the beginning of the thing you did not want anybody to hear. You rolled the reel until you came to the part you did want them to hear. You made another cut. You put the two cuts together. On went the sticky tape, and a miracle occurred.
The Chicago Bears seem reluctant.
And Secretary of State George Shultz outlines a strategy for peace in Central America.
On all things considered.
As a kid, I never dreamt that I would ever be able to work in radio, because radio was the glamour medium of my childhood. We had no television. We didn't get a TV set until I was in junior high school. So I lived by the radio. I couldn't wait to get sick, because I'd be put to bed with nice plumped up pillows, and the radio, the little Bakelite Emerson, would be taken from the table in the kitchen into my bedroom. This was an extreme privilege, and turned on, and I could listen to it all day. And I could listen to the voices coming out of it. It was this magic box, told me stories, sang to me, had drama. So because it was just so elevating and wonderful and miraculous, I never in my life dreamt. I mean, it was like saying I'm going to be a movie star and get my name on a marquee at the Radio City Music Hall. Would never have dreamt of it. It certainly was not a lavish establishment, I would say. It was a building over at 16th and I Streets. There was no furniture, hardly any. Maybe somebody had a desk. And at the earliest meetings, which were led by Bill, we would sit on the floor. And the one I remember the best is when we were asked to bring programs that we had done in whatever the last place was where we had worked. Most of us had had some radio experience. Please bring in samples of those tapes of earlier programs and play them for the group and get a reaction. So I brought in one that I had done at the local station, WAMU, that I was very proud of. I was the producer of it, called A Federal Case, and put it on. And I had gotten an announcer who I believe was one of our first reporters, a guy named Jim Russell. And I'd known him over at WAMU. I'd gotten him to be the big-voiced announcer, and he began, "From WAMU in American University, this is a federal case." And Siemering held up his hand, and he said, "That is exactly the way we do not want to sound."